Hey guys, Justin here back over Rampengu Nation. I don't know if you guys saw the new ban list was released yesterday. So Drytrons actually took like a huge hit on this list. Um Benton went to 1 and Union Carry got banned. The Union Carry ban like hurts a lot more than people realize because your main access to your second or third Drytron your turn will be Dawn Knight dumping it and being able to use it this turn. So without the new XYZ, the Fafnir guy who comes out in Lightning Overdrive, we need another way to access all the Drytrons without having to reliably open them. The good thing about the deck now is that you don't have to play as many hand traps because Calamities got banned, which is great. So now we can rely more on cards like Dark Ruler No More and Forbidden Droplets in our sideboard to crack through Dragon Blades. Because the deck's not normal summon reliant, it's really good. So you guys have been wondering like, okay, well, what's the base combo? I still want to enter like on a decent board, have Drytrons for the following turn. Well, without carrier, this is possible, and even with one Ben 10. So I'm going to show you like 2 combos, guys. If you guys want the deck list, you guys got to get this video to 100 likes, and I will post the deck list and explain like my ratios. Hint, you can still play Natasha with the same number of Cyber Angel monsters in order to use Natasha, which is great in this deck, and I'll show you guys how. So I know I posted some videos back of like what happens if you only open one Drytron, what to do. Now I'm going to show you guys like, everybody knows like Alpha Zeta is like combo, right? But what people didn't realize is like, okay, we relied on Dawn to get to our third Drytron, which was Gamma, right? Well, you can also get to a different way, and I'll show you guys how to combo with one Drytron and Ben 10. So people were like, oh, Justin, well, Ben 10's at 1, like, what are you doing? Well, actually, the number of ways to your Ben 10 your opening hand is still the same as last list. We got Prosperities to dig, we got Preps, we have Manju to grab it, and we have like, it's still about the same number of Ben 10s. You can always fill in the gaps in the number of Ben 10s you open with like goods, foolish, like extra foolish burial goods and stuff like that, right? So like, opening Ben 10 is not unrealistic at all, even though it's at 1. It's just like, you can't do the things that are like Ben 10 search Ben 10 anymore because it's at 1. But one Drytron and Ben 10 is still a combo, and I'll show you guys how. So for this one, I'm going to use Zeta and Ben 10 for our sake of argument. So you're going to want to have to be able to loop for Ben 10, and obviously everybody knows that Megalith Full is a good way to do that. So we're going to use our Zeta, attribute our Ben 10 to add our Ionis Drytron, and then we're going to search for our Manju, right? With our Ben 10's effect. So this is where we're at right now. You know, solid, like everybody knows where we go from here. We're going to enroll Manju, and then we're going to actually search for full instead of like a card like Ultimateness. So you can already see where this is going. We have our machine, ritual for full, and then we can get our guy back. Sorry guys, I cut out for a second there, but let's get back to it. So usually you can use our Manju and Zeta to make our Union Carrier, but Konami like ban Union Carrier, so what are we going to do instead? Well, we have our machine, our ritual, and a way to summon full still. So this is where it's going to get interesting. We're going to use our Medionis, summon out full. Full effect's going to trigger, and then we're going to grab back our Ben 10. Full has this neat effect that it adds back a ritual monster from your grave to your hand, and it becomes the level of the monster you get back. So our full's actually going to be level 6. This is actually super important for how we're going to access our next Drytron name. So full has another effect. We can ritual summon a Megalith from our deck by like using like a normal ritual requirement. So we're going to treat our Ben 10, and we're going to summon out Ophiel. In a new chain, full Ophiel and Ben 10 are going to trigger. So we're going to add Ophiel is going to add our full, and then Ben 10 is going to add the new addition to the deck, Cyber Angel Idaten. So what does Idaten actually do for the deck? Well, she does a lot actually. First off, she makes Natasha still playable in the deck because she is a Cyber Angel monster. So you can banish her for the requirement of Natasha to take your opponent's monsters, which is nice. She makes Petite Angel still playable. She also has an effect when she's tributed to Chain Block to make like all ritual monsters you gain like 1,000 attack and defense, which is kind of relevant too. So we're at this point now. We have our level 6 full, our Manju, and our Ophiel. Well, we're going to use here Ophiel's effect, and we're going to tribute Manju and Ophiel. So we can summon something like at level 8 or lower. So we're going to summon out our Idaten here. Idaten is going to trigger, and then we're going to add back to our hand Medionis. She can, when she's ritual summoned, she can add a ritual spell from our deck or graveyard to her hand. So we're going to add back our Medionis here, and this is important actually. So we still can use Medionis' effect later in the turn to add it back by targeting a Drytron, but now we're going to be able to loop it, which is nice. So now we're going to overlay our Idaten in full. Yes, because full is a 6, we can. and then we're gonna make our Beatrice. So this is how we're actually gonna access our other Drytron name, but Beatrice actually serves another purpose. She is going to be how we get our other fairy cards for our negates. So now we're gonna use a Beatrice effect, detach I to 10. Has to be I to 10 in this case. And then we're gonna send our alpha. So this is how we go in from 1 Drytron to 2 here. So we're gonna use our alpha, and we're gonna attribute to summon alpha, and alpha is gonna search for Herald of Perfection. Yes, it has to be perfection in this case because there's something else cool we're gonna do. So we're gonna use our Medionis here, and then we're gonna attribute our alpha to revive I to 10 again. Surprise, she's not once per turn, like a hard once per turn, so we can use I to 10 again. So she can either add back our Medionis from the grave, or she can search for another ritual spell from our deck. So we're gonna use her effect now to search for Dawn of the Herald from our deck, and then we're just gonna use Dawn to tribute I to 10. I to 10 and Dawn are going to trigger in a new chain, so you can banish Dawn to add back I to 10 to have another negate for Herald of Perfection. Yeah, Herald of Perfection. So we're going to banish that, but it's also going to make our Perfection gain 1,000 attack and defense because she was tributed, which is pretty cool. Like, it's not always that relevant, but it's kind of nice, like if you're trying to Broad Sword kill with Herald of Perfection the next turn. And this is a permanent gain, right? So we have I to 10 back in our hand, so we have at least now a guaranteed negate. Now you guys are like, oh Justin, this board's not like that incredible. Well, what you're forgetting is that we got 2 Drytrons names from only opening 1. So Beatrice guaranteed us a follow-up. It acts like our way to get to our other Drytron that we're missing, which is important. Now during their turn, this is how we get more negates. We can pitch our I to 10, negate the first card, and then on resolution use our Beatrice, and we can send Ava. Ava is then going to trigger, and we're going to banish like I to 10 and our Manju, because you want to keep your Ben 10, always have Ben 10 access. And then this is how we're going to actually get to our Petite Angel and our Herald of Orange Light. So these are now going to be our like our 2 more negates for this, which is nice because we're showing you how with 1 Drytron and a way to Ben 10 we can guarantee 3 negates and follow up, which is nice. So yeah. So this is it for like the simplest combo, just opening like Zeta Ben 10, right? Or Zeta and a way to Ben 10 essentially. Well, now you're wondering like, okay, well that's not that impressive. Can we make the board any better? Well, the answer is yes. So let's go to the second combo. We have Alpha Zeta, and now you want to know like what this ends on. Well, if you open 2 Drytrons and the 2 starter Drytrons, that's what I like to call them, you can actually end on a little bit more. So we're going to use Alpha's effect now to tribute our Zeta. Zeta's going to search our Ben 10. Shocker, it's still at 1, we can do that. Zeta's going to tribute Ben 10. Zeta's going to add our Medionis, and then Ben 10's going to add to our hand Manju. We're going to normal Manju, and then Manju's going to add full. We can't, like, without unique care, we cannot consistently rely on Bandage Ruler in this spell, because Manju is now a bridge to loop our Ben 10 with full. So we're at this point, we have 2 Drytrons and Manju, full Medionis. So we're going to use Medionis, tribute our Zeta, and then full's going to trigger to add back our Ben 10 to our hand. Full becomes a level 6 now. Now, you know, same thing as before. Full effect to tribute Ben 10. Now you can see the difference with the board. Instead of just having full Manju, but we have full Manju Alpha because we started with the Drytrons. We have another card on the field, which is important. So we're going to add I to 10 and full to our hand. And this is important because it means we got to leave the Manju in our field as a monster. We're going to use Ophield's effect to tribute full and Ophield herself to summon I to 10. That's level 6. So I to 10 is going to trigger now to add back our Medionis. In this combo, we're going to use Medionis' effect to add back itself now by targeting a Drytron. So I to 10 grab back our Medionis. We have I to 10 full as a level 6, Manju, and 2000 Alpha. This is very relevant. So now we're going to overlay those 2 for Beatrice like we did before. Beatrice is now going to send our Gamma. So now we have 3 Drytron names instead of 2 because of Zeta, Alpha. Now this is how we get our 3rd one. Beatrice acts as our Dawn Knight, but it's also access to our Ava, which is nice. So now we're going to use Medionis here. Tribute our Alpha to revive our Ben 10. So we're going to use Gamma, and then we're going to use summon out Gamma and Alpha. Ben 10 is going to trigger, and then we're going to add to hand Perfection. Now, remember, we did not use Medionis this turn to add itself back. We used the first ritual summon for full, then I to 10 added it back from her effect. So now we can use our Medionis target our Gamma to add it back to our hand. So now this guy is at 2000 or Alpha, So we're gonna tribute Alpha now to summon back Idaten. You're like, okay, why did you just summon Perfection? Well, because Idaten's then gonna trigger now to add our Dawn to our hand. So now we have Dawn Herald, and then now doing it this way guarantees we have another negate. So we're gonna use our Dawn to tribute our Idaten. Idaten's gonna trigger, obviously, Chain Link 2, Dawn is Chain Link 1. Dawn's gonna banish itself to add back Idaten to our hand as a negate. And now, well, we have 2 extra monsters, and we can use those 2 now to make IP. So now this makes your board more resilient against like zoo monsters, because they can't like just bait out all your perfections with this. So you can use IP to use your Beatrice and IP to make a unicorn. Beatrice is also a fairy, so you can banish her for Ava as well, instead of not having to banish your Idaten that you're gonna have to pitch for your Herald Negate. So yeah, Herald Negate, obviously Beatrice and Ava. Ava's gonna trigger, banishing Idaten Manju. Add Orange and Petite. So yeah, so you're gonna end with the same number of negates. You're still gonna end with 3 negates. It's just like the last combo from last format, where we would end with like Perfection Ava, and you still end with the same number of Drytrons in your grave. Last format, we ended with 3 Drytrons if you start with 2, because Dawn just dumped the extra 1. Beatrice dumps the extra 1 in this case. So people are like, okay, well, your deck's weaker than Nib, but while that is true, we don't have to clog our decks with irrelevant hand traps anymore to like counteract calamities or so. We can play as many extenders, as many ways to like play through stuff more, because we don't have to worry about calamities anymore, because calamities banned. So it's a hit or miss, yes. However, the deck like gained some more like consistency in a way, because like you're still playing the same number of Bentens, but it doesn't have the same amount of resilience anymore, because you lost Union Carrier and 2 Bentens. But it's still like very good and playable, is my argument to this. So, and also people want to know if you can still play Natasha. The answer is yes, because hint, I play 2 Idatens, because you kind of want to play 2 of all the cards that Bento will originally search. That way you can grab Orange midway through your combo if you need to, or you can grab Ava, so you can end with like Perfection Ava in hand, or have like Orange and then the Fairy to like have a guaranteed negate to protect you from Nib. So the deck's very, very consistent still. You play like 18 ways to your Drytrons essentially. It's still like the same amount. But this combo is more of a bridge and a filler, because we don't have the rank 1. Until we get the rank 1, the combo is going to be like insanely better, and we don't have to worry about that issue anymore of like not having the Drytrons. So yeah, I just thought this would be like a cool like first beginner combo without using like the artifacts, but I just wanted to show you guys that the Fairy Engine was still very good. Orange Light is what makes me think that like I really still want to play the Fairy Engine instead of just relying on Draconids. So I hope you guys like enjoy this video. If you want to see the deck profile, like share this video around, make sure it gets like 100 likes. I'll show you guys my deck profile. Yes, it's still 40 cards. Yes, you can still play hand traps in it. And yes, your extra deck is still nice. One other card that's really nice in the extra deck I'll show you guys is M7 Ptolemy. So M7 is like really good in the extra deck too, because M7 can add back Benten to her hand, or add back Ava or anything else back to her hand for the next turn. And it's relevant too because M7 is a machine. So you can go like Idaten, add back Medionis, summon another Idaten. Or you can like summon back Benten if you want. So then use Idaten, Benten, make M7, detach, add back either Benten or Ava. And then you can Ritual Spell again, because if you did 2 Idatens, you'll have another Medionis back in your hand. And then you could Ritual Spell an M7 and revive Benten. And like it just loops shenanigans. You can Ritual Summon as many times now. So as I said, if you guys like this video, be sure to like and subscribe. And this is Justin saying with Rampengu Nation, and see you guys.